Today we're going to be going over some of the very best spray and go signature scents. These just get the job done for every situation imaginable. Spring, summer, fall, winter, formal, casual. These are going to do exactly what you want them to do. They're going to last long, they're going to smell great to everybody around you, and they're just going to have that versatility that you're looking for when you're making a purchase. As I like to say, there are no dust collectors in this video, meaning there are no fragrances in here that are so challenging or so specific that you can only wear them for certain times, and most of the time they just sit there taking up space. That's not what these are. You can actually get your money's worth out of these. We're going to start off with niche, but it's cheap niche, right? I mean, this fragrance is cheaper than a lot of designer fragrances out there. It's Mancera Cosmic Pepper. So understand you're going to be paying around $70 for this. Is $70 itself cheap? No, but for niche, it absolutely is. Niche under $100 for a 120 milliliters, that is just unheard of these days. Aside from Mancera and Montal, I'm not really sure what other niche brands are really doing this and at least putting out, you know, consistently good fragrances that you can get your money's worth out of. I don't know, it's not very common. Put it into perspective, most niche fragrances out there are usually $150 or more, oftentimes for a 50 ml bottle, right? And then you get up to the 100s, 120s and stuff, and you're gonna be well up into over $200. So it just puts it into perspective. This one obviously has pepper, mostly like a black pepper note in here. A lot of lavender, a little bit of this muskiness as well. Some other woods going on too, like a bit of a slight cedar wood smell. Buried further on in the dry down, and a tiny bit of a sweetness too coming from this powdery smell. I don't know, to me it kind of incorporates some great ideas from some other really popular fragrances out there. It has a little bit of the Chanel Allure Homme Sport type of slight fresh creaminess. It almost has a little bit of this L'Homme, La Nuit de l'Homme kind of warm spicy kick as well. It's interesting because when you've smelled those fragrances and you've spent a lot of time with them like I have, you can kind of put your nose on this one and pick out little certain details. It's not a clone of La Nuit de l'Homme or Allure Homme Sport Extreme or the regular Sport, not even close. It's not that similar, but to me it is incorporating key aspects and some certain accords that those use as well, and then doing their own twist. And everybody who's familiar with Mancera knows that they kind of do that. Take a look at Cedrat Boisé, was labeled as a Creed Aventus clone, although it's not a clone. It is borrowing some ideas and making a different twist on it. You could take a look at something like Tonka Cola. Maybe it's trying to take some inspiration from Roja Creation E and putting their own twist on it. So they've been doing this type of thing for a while. But I think for the money, this one is a wonderful pickup. If you want to get into niche, but you don't want to end up with something that is too far out there, this is a great place to start. And most people are going to say it doesn't count. Well, you know, as far as being niche by definition, it is, right? It's from a brand that only does fragrances. Just because it's not at a high price, just because it's not super unique smelling, doesn't discount the fact that it is niche and it's a great place to dive in. We're going to move through these a little bit quicker here. This next one is Bleu by Versace. Big old 200 ml bottle here. When it comes to having a signature scent that you can grab and spray on and go, it's one of the best, you know. And again, there are so many out there that you could choose from as well, whether it be the blue fragrance category or otherwise. But this is one that I often like to not only reach for, but also recommend for a couple of reasons. One of which being the price point, typically around $45 to $50 for this for the 100 milliliter size bottle. The other thing is going to be performance. For that price, the performance is incredibly strong. The other thing is going to be the mass appeal or the compliment factor. It's widely known as a huge compliment puller. It's that blue fragrance DNA, but with some patchouli, some incense, and a nice focus on that grapefruit and ambroxan. It's just actually a little bit of a sweeter take on the DNA with a little bit of that smokiness from the incense patchouli combination. Some C notes going on in here as well. It's fresh, but with a little bit of a mysterious kind of nighttime edge. People go crazy for this stuff. And I think at the end of the day, when you're putting your money into something, this would be a great place to really consider, because you can do so much with it. Formal, casual, it really doesn't matter. It's probably going to lean more casual, okay? That's the only disclaimer I'll give you, but would people give you dirty looks if you showed up to a more formal event wearing this, that's very unrealistic. Now this next one really goes down the more mature, formal, kind of expensive smelling direction, but the scent itself is not expensive at all, usually around $60 here on discounters. It is Brioni Eau de Parfum Essentiel. I talked about this one recently, but it's kind of hooked on it right now. It's actually really good for this time of year. It's more of a spring scent, I would say, if I had to confine it to a season, but luckily we don't have to do that, and you can wear it whenever you see fit. And for me, I've really been enjoying it here this fall. This one has tomato, bergamot, patchouli, and a lot of it. So this is a patchouli-based scent. It kind of makes sense when you look at the bottle, that nice green look going on here, a bit of a gradient going on as well. You can see it's a bit darker up top, goes to more of a clear look down below. So green from the patchouli, also green from this tomato leaf type of accord. So it's not straight up like cutting into a tomato and that's what it smells like. It's more of a leafier green tomato type of smell. So that's kind of where this one falls for me. More green, more aromatic, more fresh than you might expect, but with a very strong patchouli, which is giving it that woody, mature, masculine presence. So this is one where, again, definitely leans in the formal direction for me, not one that is going to smell overly youthful or anything. However, you could easily wear this one in a casual environment, and same thing, nobody's gonna think twice about it. It smells good and it just works, and that's kind of what this one's all about. But this is for those of you who do want something actually just a little bit more different and maybe against the grain while not sacrificing general mass appeal. We're gonna go from one green bottle to another. Hugo Boss Bottle Bold Citrus. So this is gonna be their kind of newest, fresher one, or at least summer oriented. This one has lemon, geranium, and vetiver. It smells wonderful. Really, really nice, bright, vibrant, fresh smelling scent. It is perfect for summertime when you want something that's going to be fresh and uplifting and just kind of energizing. You want something that kind of has that brightness and that energy that you're looking for when it's warm outside. And even though it is going to be more warm weather oriented, doesn't mean you can't wear it when it's cool outside, because you can. There is actually just a little bit more of a depth and a richness behind this one, where it can actually hold up when it's a bit cooler out, like in fall and maybe even winter. It always depends on where you live and what the temperatures actually do. It's going to vary from region to region, but this one here really smells wonderful and is just a fantastic signature scent that you really can't mess up. Now this next one, kind of going in the more mature, formal direction as well. Something that you don't hear about all that often, but is really solid. It's actually from the brand of Prada. It is Prada Amber Pour Homme, just the original. Now, we hear about Prada L'Homme and Prada L'Homme Intense all the time, right? By far, two of the most popular from the brand, at least their normal designer line for men. Prada L'Homme, it needs no introduction at all. But this and Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense are two really, really good scents. Now the Intense version, I believe, is discontinued, or at least I just can't find it anywhere. It's sold out on all of the discounters, so I'm not gonna throw that one in. This one actually makes more sense for this video anyway, because it is a bit fresher, therefore lending it to be more of a versatile type of scent. This one has musk, sandalwood, patchouli, and neroli. A lot of musk, okay? A lot of patchouli as well. A little bit of a neroli brightness off the opening, but it's not overly fresh, okay? It really is. It's musky, it's powdery, and woody. A little bit of a sweetness, but nothing crazy either. And when you smell this one, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about here. Just more mature, more formal smelling. I hate to say that it smells like an old person, because not necessarily, but for those of you out there who are younger, this probably wouldn't be something that you would just want to go blind by, okay? This probably isn't going to fit in for you as well. You're going to want to shop really most of the other ones in this video, but I wanted to throw this one in anyway, just for those of you who do want something more mature, more refined, and more premium smelling, just kind of, I guess, maybe a little bit of an older school type of scent. Again, I have, a wide audience, so I try to do the best I can with that, and this would be something that you would go for if you just want something that is not following today's trends. All right, this next one here is gonna be a clone. This is the only clone fragrance that I threw in this video, and it's so good that I am kind of obsessed with it, to be honest. It is Rasasi Hawas Kobra. I was not expecting this at all, and I am so glad that they put this out. This might be one of my favorite Hawas flankers. In fact, it probably is my favorite Hawas flanker. I'll just go ahead and go on record and say that right now. Now, the original Hawas is always going to be #1 for me. I love that DNA. But when it comes down to this here, nice take on Louis Vuitton Imagination, which I love the smell of. It gets you so close. It's so strong in terms of performance as well. I was not expecting it to be this strong, even though I had no reason to believe that it wouldn't be, because most Rasasi Hawas fragrances are strong. But again, it shocked me in every way, mainly the quality as well. It does not smell cheap or synthetic or anything like that. And, you know, the original Hawas is really good. Hawas Ice, you know, is a little bit cheaper smelling. Hawas Black is really solid in terms of quality and everything. Hawas Fire, Fire and Ice, those two kind of weren't the best for me. They're not horrible, they're not bad. It's just the quality kind of lacked a little bit. They didn't offer as much, in my opinion. So those two, I don't really give a whole lot of attention. But Tropical, Kobra, the original, man, those are three really, really good fragrances. But this one here, I wanted to throw it in because you get ultimate versatility. You know, the LV Imagination type of scent is going to be more warmer weather leaning, spring and summer. But this here is strong enough to where you can wear it in fall. You can wear it in wintertime as well. It's beautiful with that black tea and pepper and citrus and woods, and it smells so, so good. This stuff is incredible. I believe it's in stock for around $55 right now. Actually, testers came in stock for 40 bucks the other day. I made a post about it on my community tab, and that sold out very quickly. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel and checking my community tab multiple times a day. I post stuff like that all the time. You just might not know about it, but I do. But $55 for this is far from unreasonable when you consider how well this stacks up against Louis Vuitton Imagination, which goes for well over $300. This next one is Sauvage Parfum by Dior. This one has bergamot, sandalwood, orange, olibanum, and tonka bean. Now I know what you're thinking. I already featured Bleu, so I put 2 blue fragrances in this video. I don't quite look at it that way. Now yes, Bleu, without a doubt, is a blue fragrance, right? Sauvage Parfum, it takes a big step away from the Sauvage DNA. Now, the Sauvage Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum and very cool spray, right, if we're just being inclusive to everything in the line, those are very much blue fragrances. Just no other way to put it. The Parfum, I'm telling you, it really does do something different here. I mean, you heard the notes. I read them off, and those are the ones that I really get the most. So the olibanum, the tonka, even that orange, you know, the sandalwood, those really come to light here, and you don't get all of the ambroxan and black pepper and bergamot like you do in Sauvage EDT and even EDP. It's just a smoother, sweeter, creamier take. Maybe still a little bit of blue fragrance sprinkled in there from some pre-existing amber or ambroxan that has been used in everything else. But it just, this really sets up Sauvage Elixir, right? You know, it really, Sauvage Elixir basically takes this, grabs onto that sandalwood, and throws on a ton of spices and just amps it up even more. But this was kind of their first departure away from that traditional blue fragrance smell, and that's why I like it. This one, because of that kind of added sweetness, but still maintaining a fresh balance, is great for year-round. Now, when it's really, really hot outside, are there better options? Without a doubt. Can you make it work if you have a limited selection? Without a doubt. So again, it's just, if you're creative and if you're not too picky, you can really make just about anything work. And I think this would be a great all year round signature scent. And most of you have other stuff anyway, where if it was really hot outside, you could just wear something different that you probably have. But again, every day, for the most part, this one's gonna work. Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir. This is the Eau de Parfum. I like the Parfum as well. Very versatile scent, but the Eau de Parfum a bit fresh. It's all about the cedarwood and the musk, basically. Woody, kind of dry, but still a bit clean and musky and fresh and as well. Not a whole lot of an aromatic focus behind this one. It's mostly just musk and woods, really. When it comes down to it, this is not overly interesting to me. The Parfum is much more interesting from like a fragrance enthusiast standpoint of like smelling it and being like, that smells really good. This smells nice, but it's not something that I am crazy about. However, this type of thing is almost like textbook definition perfect for this type of video. Spring, summer, fall, winter, formal, casual, daytime, nighttime, this works. And you can't really beat that. You know, having something like this that you can just spray on and go without thinking about it at all is valuable, especially if you do have a larger collection where you don't have the time to sit there and plan it out. Or even if you don't, even if you just have a collection of a few, having something like this is so valuable and it's reasonable. $50 or so on discounter. And we're gonna finish this video off with Armani Code Parfum. It has a little bit of iris in here, okay? So there's some iris, tonka bean with that original code. So they did not completely ditch Armani Code. You still smell it. In fact, people who are familiar enough with the Armani Code lineup, if you were to smell this, you could probably make a pretty good guess that this is some sort of Armani Code flanker, having not smelled this and not knowing what it was, right? So they still have some of that. But they did add iris the first time ever, and it is a nice one. A little bit of a powdery iris. It's not nearly as sweet as a Dior Homme Intense iris, not quite as fresh as a Prada L'Homme iris, kind of splitting the difference going down the middle here with that existing code DNA. This is a Parfum, obviously. It's not as sweet or as rich and heavy as you might expect it to be given the name Parfum. So it still does, at least for me, fit into this video really well. A little bit sweet, a little bit powdery, just a little bit fresh as well, giving it a lot of versatility. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Some of the best spray and go signature scents that you can buy. Again, these work, and that's all that most people really care about. Links will be down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.